Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Three Stitches Podcast. I apologize that this is going to be up late. Today's been kind of a weird day. It's been sort of a weird week. I haven't had school all week. It's been winter break. So when I woke up this morning, I did not remember that it was Wednesday and that I had the podcast. So, yeah, and then so I went to go podcast, and then the vacuum cleaner started up outside my door to vacuum the hallway, and I was like, that's probably not the best thing to have in the background of a podcast, so I'll wait a little bit. And then so that stopped, and then I had to make the show notes, and so finally here I am, and it's a little late, so I apologize for that. And I also apologize for uh, if my voice sounds a little funny. I woke up this morning with a sore throat. Actually, it was coming on last night, and that was great because I was on duty last night. So it's not like a cold or anything. I don't know. I think it just might be a sore throat. So I have tea. I made tea. So I will be drinking that throughout the podcast. It will be a short podcast because I don't know how long my voice will last. So hopefully it will last through the entire podcast. But if it doesn't, I might have to cut it short. So today is Wednesday, February 22nd. February is flying by. Good grief. Um, like every month. January flew by, February flew by. We're gonna head into March soon, and we're coming up on the midpoint of the semester, and it doesn't feel like it. Like by this time, like I'm busy and everything, but which will lead me into the title of this podcast, and I will show you what I've been doing all weekend. Well, not all weekend, but what astonished me this weekend. Um, but what was I saying? I just lost my train of thought. Oh well, it'll come back to me. But so I'll lead right back into the title of the podcast. So oh, the middle of the semester for us means that we have to get going with RA interviews. And so we, as current RAs, interview the candidates. And so the candidates go through three interviews. They go through a group process, which is all of the candidates together on a Saturday morning, and they do three activities and then we judge them on their leadership qualities, how well they get along with others, and different qualities like that are important aspects to have to be an RA. And then they have an interview with the director, the two directors, Rory and Ed, and one of the senior RAs. And then they have an interview with a panel of regular RAs, I guess you would call us. And so the RAs are divided up into three groups, so there's four people in each group. And we have to come up with a list of 10 times that we are all available to for hour blocks that we can interview that we can have an hour block of time that the interviewee could possibly sign up for to be interviewed at. And so I realized this weekend that RAs are very busy people because so in my group is me, Matt, Thomasina, and Anissa. And so um, since some of us were away this weekend, and we weren't all here at the same time, we decided to come up with our times over email. And so I emailed, or Thomasina started off us out, and emailed and with her times, and then I replied with my times that are available, and then Matt replied with times that he was available, and we got Anissa's time that he was available, and I put them all together. And so on our website, they have these nice little like personal schedules where it has the blocks of time for each school day and when that are divided up for basically when um, the classes normally are. And so I printed one out, and I decided I stole this idea from Katie, so I printed one out and then like X'd with different color pens. Okay, Matt's not available at this time, and Thomasina's not available at this time. So this is what it turned out to be. I don't know if you can see it. So we have, yeah, like 2 blocks of time available in the entire week where none of us are busy. Yeah, it was great. we have like Monday after 3:30, but the Marguerite staff has staff meeting at 6:30, so that kind of cuts that out. And then I have Zumba at 4:45, so it ends up making more time. And then Friday from 2:30 on, and then weekends. That was the only time those were the only time blocks we had available. So needless to say, RAs are very busy people. We have a lot of classes. We have a lot of wow. Yeah, it was quite frustrating to come up with 10 times to 10-hour blocks of time to have potential candidates interviewed in those times. Yeah. Yeah. So that was my job for the weekend. I had to coordinate all the schedules and come up with 10 times. Yeah. Um, but I actually had two potential titles for this podcast, and I went with this one, but I don't know. Maybe I'll name it the other one. I was gonna name it "We Need a New Toaster" because the PBR does need a new toaster. I nearly set the PBR on fire. Actually, I set the toaster on fire. I nearly burnt down the PBR. Um, we have the PBR has like the an old type toaster. I don't know if it's an old type toaster, but it's not one. It's not the one with the with the slots and you put the bread in and you push it down. It's one. It's like a big box with like a conveyor grate, and you put the bread in and it like slides it slides in, and on the bottom and on the top there's like heating elements. So as it slides through, it it toasts on both sides, and then it drops down into a little like tray, and then pick it out from underneath. Well, I went to go make toast yesterday. I really wanted toast. I've been trying to eat more whole grain, and the PBR is not the greatest for whole grain. So, like the only time I can get whole grain is if I make a sandwich or toast. Bread is the only whole grain they have there. So and the sandwich bar wasn't open because it was brunch. So where the sandwich bar usually is was like eggs and sausage and bacon and French toast. And I did have a piece of French toast, half a piece. They were cut into half pieces. And so I went to go make a piece of toast, and I put it in, and um, it slid back. And I'm talking to Paige. My friend Paige had come up and she was asking how my weekend was, and I asked her how her weekend was. Just chatted, blah blah blah. And I know, and I'm like, I didn't, because sometimes so most of the time you can hear it like tink when it's dropped down onto the tray, and I'm like, I don't hear my toast. And I look in, and I'm like, I think it's stuck. And what had happened was instead of like curling around and dropping onto the tray, it had curled around and like curled all the way around and gotten stuck on the grate underneath. So it was like trying to like suck it in underneath the grate. And I'm like, oh no. And so I go back, I try and like pull it out just to like get it to drop down. And it won't do that. So I run over real quick and I'm like, my toast is stuck underneath the grate. Can you help? And they're like, yeah, sure. And we look over and it's on fire. We're like, oh no. So we run over real quick, and they get it out, and so I'm like, all right, so is it safe to put another toast in? Piece of toast in? Like, yeah, sure, it's good. We fixed it. Okay, I trust them. I put another piece of toast in, watching it very careful. I'm watching it like slowly creep back. The same thing happens again. As soon as it like decides, as soon as it as time for it to curl around and drop down onto the tray, it curls around and goes underneath the grate. I'm like, oh no. So I'm like, it happened again. And so I shut it off real quick, run over like it happened again, and it's on fire again. So the whole PBR smells like smoke. Needless to say, the toaster did not want me to have toast yesterday. I skipped the toast. That was yeah. Oh, this like hurt my throat. But so I didn't have toast yesterday. I was very sad. I wanted toast. I really wanted toast. Like sometimes I don't want toast. Sometimes I do want toast. I really wanted toast. The toaster did not want me to have toast. So the PBR needs a new toaster. I would hazard a guess. Are we gonna get a new toaster? Probably not. But we need a new toaster. I don't think I'm gonna make toast for a while. Either that or I'm just gonna have bread. So yeah, those were the two potential titles for this podcast. So pick one. Either we're busy people or we need a new toaster, whichever one fits your fancy. But it was actually quite a busy weekend. A lot of crafting done. My friend Catherine, who graduated last year and is now in grad school at George Mason, George George Mason University. I think that's the school that she decided to go to. In Washington D.C. She came up for a visit over the weekend. So, because she had Monday off, so she flew in Friday morning and then flew out Monday night, and so that was fun. Um, we got together, we chatted a little bit towards Friday afternoon, um, after she had run around and visited people and talked to them, and then talked a little bit about at about 4 o'clock in the 4:30 in the afternoon, and then so she left because she had to pick up a car for her family, um, and drive it to Rochester, on Saturday morning, but so she did that, and then we met up, at Applebee's for dinner. So that was fun. It was a late dinner. We met at like 10 o'clock. It was a late dinner. So I had dinner, actual dinner at the PBR. And oh, I never explained what the PBR is. The PBR is our dining room. If you hadn't figured that out yet, it stands for Porter View Room because it overlooks Porter Road. Um, so it stands for Porter View Room, or as Lindsay says, it stands for Pink Voluptuous Rhinoceroses. We as kids we always like to, make up things for acronyms. Like we drove our dad nuts, at one of Ian's soccer games one day because we saw a dumpster for and with BFI on the side of it, and we didn't know what BFI stood for, and dad did not know what BFI stood for. So we made up plenty of things that BFI could stand for, like, big fluffy Indians, um, um, big fluffy insurance, um, Barbie's frozen implants. Yeah, we made up a whole list and drove dad insane for the entire soccer game. It was fun. So sort of a throwback to that, Lindsay decided the PBR no longer stood for Porterview Room. It stood for Pink Voluptuous Rhinoceroses. So there you go. Um, so I ate at the PBR and then just had, an appetizer. It was half price apps at, Applebee's. So had that. I had boneless wings, honey barbecue boneless wings that I split with Amanda. And then I had a chocolate lava cake with vanilla ice cream. It was delicious. Like, I don't know if any of you have had the lava cake at Applebee's. Like, it comes out and it's really small, and you're like, all right, I can finish this. Maybe not a big bang for my buck because it's $5, and you get this little, like, just a little molten lava cake with a little scoop of ice cream. By the time you get to the end of that lava cake, you're like, I don't know if I can finish this. Me, Catherine had one. I had one. And Amanda had one, and we're about all at the same point. We were just like, ugh, all right, no more. I managed to finish it. I managed to finish it. It was a stretch. It was quite a stretch. It was good. It's very good. But ooh, that's a lot of cake. You wouldn't think it when you look at it, but it is. I'm gonna run out of tea soon. This is not good. Maybe I'll have to take a break and come back with another cup of tea. Cause it's starting to get lukewarm now. Oh well. And I'm too cheap for cream and sugar, so it's just straight Earl Grey tea in my Diuval cup mug. Diuval cup mug. All right, that's enough rambling. So we went out to dinner on Friday with Catherine. She slept over at Dick and Aaron's on Friday night. And then went home on Saturday because it was her sister's birthday. She lives in Rochester. Well, she lives in Washington D.C. She's from Rochester, so she drove back to Rochester. It was her sister's birthday. Actually, her sister's birthday is the same as my mom's birthday, so her birthday was technically on Monday. But she couldn't be there on Monday, so they celebrated it on Sunday. Yeah. She drove back on Saturday, spent there the day Saturday, spent the night or Saturday night to Sunday, celebrated her birthday, and then drove back with, her sister, whose birthday it was. Her name is Allison, and her friend Siobhan, which is a totally cool name, and I love it. So then they drove back, and we had board game night. So we played my Apples to Apples sour game that I got for Christmas, which is a lot of fun. If any of you, have played the regular Apples to Apples game and have not played Apples to Apples Sour, it's a lot of fun. Um, I highly recommend it. So we played that, and then my necklace is stuck. Meh. There we go. Um, I like playing with my necklace. It's a habit of mine. But so played Apples to Apples Sour, ordered Zonies, which is a local Buffalo thing, and Catherine had missed it. So it's very popular. Ooh, excuse me. There's the tea. Um, it's very popular in colleges because it's a calzone place, but it's not just like pizza calzones. Like I had a fajita calzone. Catherine had a Reuben calzone without the corned beef because she's vegetarian. The guy ordering sounded like we're because we ordered over the phone. Sounded like he thought she was nuts, but she liked the taste of it and she's a vegetarian, so it was a Reuben without the corned beef. But you could have like a scrambled zoni. They have like cheeseburger zonies. They have like a whole bunch of flavors. They have Alfredo zoni. They have Philly cheesesteak zoni. They have buffalo zoni. They have yeah a whole bunch of flavors. And so for like $6.95, you get two calzones. It's great. Good bang for your buck. If you're hungry, and if you're hungry on like Friday night or any night, practically. You call up Zonies, you order, and what's on my cup? Hmm, I do not know. And then about an hour later, you have two Zonies for less than $10. So it's very nice on your pocketbook. Yeah. So we did that. I had the fajita Zoni, and then we played Apples Apple Sour, and then went to bed, and then got up the next morning, and Catherine had breakfast with a friend, um, and then left Monday night. Yep. That was the extent of my weekend, and interspersed with Catherine's visits, um, I did homework slash crafting. So yeah. Um, and then on Tuesday she wasn't here, so that'll lead me into Tuesday. There a lot of crafting was got done on Tuesday. Not as much as I planned on because well, I knew that there was a Star Trek marathon, and for those of you who do not know, I I slash our family are big sci-fi nerds. So like Ian loves Star Wars, all that. Me and Lindsay grew up watching Star Trek instead of like I don't know whatever normal kids watched. Yeah. Um, and I love Doctor Who. Mom grew up on Doctor Who as a kid, and then introduced to me Lindsay, and Lindsay watched series 1 through 4, and then as well as I did, and then I continued on watching, and she stopped. I don't know. So we're big sci-fi people. That we like Babylon 5, big sci-fi people. Big Bang Theory, that's related to sci-fi stuff because they're sci-fi nerds as well. Yep, love Big Bang Theory. Love Big Bang Theory. My TV is always tuned to TBS from 8 to 11 on Tuesdays through Thursdays. It does not leave that channel because Big Bang Theory goes all the way through. Except on Wednesday, they stopped doing it from 8 to 9 on Wednesday. It was only 9 to 11, which is sad. But needless to say, those times on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, my TV does not leave TBS because I watch Big Bang Theory. So there was a Star Trek marathon on Sci-Fi, and I knew that, so I was like, oh sweet. It was on from 9 to 7. So I was like, I'm gonna get so much knitting done. Um, and so I started watching at 10. Um, and I got a couple rows done, and then I went to brunch at noon, came back, did more knitting, watched more TV, watched more Star Trek. And then I had to do the Spring Fling board. The Spring Fling, for those of you who are just joining us and haven't seen my other podcasts, is our annual dance. It's usually right before finals week, but this year we planned it right before spring break. So, yep, it's coming up real soon. It's coming up at the end of March. And so, um, Yeah, so we had to do a board for an advertisement to put up in Alt building so people will know and buy tickets. Yeah. And so spent from 2 to 4 working on that, and so that chewed up 2 hours of my afternoon. That could have been spent watching Star Trek and knitting. So that's why I didn't get as much knitting as I hoped to get done. Because I came back and then I was on duty at 4:30, so like it was one of those awkward like afternoons, or I don't know, like awkward hours. I got back at 4, or like got done at 4, so I got back to the dorms around 4:10 after cleaning up and everything, cleaning up all those supplies. Um, and then I was on duty at 4:30, so I'm like, all right, I could change the board 20 minutes early and grab the keys now, or I could go upstairs, turn on the TV, watch like 10 minutes of Star Trek, do like a half a row, and then go down and get the keys and get the book, and then come back up and finish, and then hope to finish a reasonable amount before dinner at 5. So, yeah, I went for the second choice. I went upstairs, did an awkward amount of knitting, short amount of knitting, not a short, awkward amount of knitting, the short, awkward amount of watching TV. Went downstairs, got the book, got the keys, put my name on the board, came back upstairs, and then I wanted to finish the row, but I didn't finish before 5, or I wanted to finish a row and then a purl back row. Because I found that it's kind of depressing with the pavot. I was working on the pavonis. Yes, that was my craft of choice this weekend. Um, I found if I'm working on the Pavonis, I like to end on a purl row because when I pick it up again, it's kind of depressing for me to start on a purl row. So I'm like, well, this is boring. I like to start on a pattern side because then I'm like, oh, yay, it's interesting. I do it. So I try my hardest all the time just to stop after I've done a purl row. If I have to stop soon. Yeah, don't ask. I'm weird. That's just me. So I wanted to do a pattern row and then a purl back row, and so that I stopped about 5:30 and then went to dinner. And then I was on duty from, well, I was still on duty, but I had to sit down in the lobby from 9 to midnight. That's part of duty on a weekday. So I sat down in the lobby from 9 to midnight. It was a lot. It was the end of a long weekend, so that nothing really happened. It was just a whole bunch of people coming back from home. So I had a station of people coming in the door, in and out, and in and out, in and out, and in and out, and in and out, in and out. Okay, you get the drift. So yep, that was last night. So I guess since I've talked about for about 20 minutes, and I wanted to keep this short, I will move on to my projects after I take a sip of tea. Yeah, I better finish those up too. I only have a few swallows left. So, all right. So my bonus was my craft of choice this weekend slash week. Although right now it's still technically the weekend because I don't have class until 5:30 tonight, and then I'm done this weekend again because I have Thursday and Friday off. This is a great week. So, my bonus, I got about 2 repeats done. I am on repeat 6, 5, 5, repeat 5. So, and I'm not in the middle of a row. I have, as I have been on the past two. Whoa, nah. There we go. All right, so I will spread this out, and I will do as Lindsay does, and I will show you the halfway point because it's like hers. It's a little large to be showing you the whole thing. So, all right, there's the halfway point. Yep, I'll hold it back so you can see the entirety of the entire thing. The entirety of the entire thing. That's a weird phrase. I don't know where that came from. All right, there's my bonus. So halfway point, right there and right there, and you can see the bottom. I don't have enough hands to show you the bottom, but I hope that you can see the bottom because that's where it ends. Yep. So I'm on the 5th repeat, and in answer to Lindsay's question, yes, I would like to extend the knit along because I'm on repeat 5 and we have a week left. So I would have to do like a repeat a day, which maybe for you that is reasonable. For me, no. I have been averaging on a good week 2 repeats a week. So yeah, on a good week. Um, so but I've gotten the pattern down where I don't really have any problems anymore. So I finally come up with because As you've been watching, Lindsay's ball of yarn for her bonus is a cake. So mine's a donut. So her cake is getting smaller and my donut is getting more and more hollow. So soon it will be a cookie. Because it won't have any filling left. It'll be a cookie. So Mom, if you haven't taken your bonus out yet, what's your ball of yarn? Lindsay's a cake, mine's a donut. What's yours? Oh, also exciting news in the world of crafting. I went to Joann Fabrics on Sunday? Sunday? Saturday. Saturday. Joann Fabrics on Saturday. So I bought fleece for snuggles, and I have one snuggle done. I will show you in a minute. But I bought thread for a project that I'm working on. And I bought stuff to make necklaces. So there's one necklace. I will take it off and I will hold it up to the camera. So I just thought this was a really pretty charm that I saw. So yeah, I saw it and so I was like, oh, that'll make a pretty necklace. So I made it into a necklace, and then I bought several other charms to make a necklace for Catherine for her birthday because her birthday is in 2 days. So I gave those to her before she left. And I made another one for myself, but it's not anywhere around here. So maybe I'll show you next week if I can remember. Alright, on to the last one, snuggles. Okay, so as you have heard, Mom is very into snuggles, and so am I. I just haven't had quite the time to make as much as I would like. So I have a knitted snuggle started, and I bought fleece for other snuggles. And snuggles are, if you haven't heard it from Mom, snuggles are little blankets that you make and donate to animal shelters. And my necklace is stuck. There we go. And you donate to animal shelters for the animals there to sleep on, cuddle with, but most importantly, when the animals are adopted, the blankets go with them. So, yep. Okay, hold on. All right. And so I have a knitted one started. It hasn't been worked on for like 2 weeks, unfortunately. Once I get this bonus done and I get Evelyn's sweater done, I should be golden. I should be like cruising on a whole bunch of projects. So, yep. All right. So this is my first fleece snuggle. I saw this fabric. Oh, it was upside down. Upside down. The heart's blood is going to its head. So there we go. I bought a yard of this fabric, and so I made a tie blanket for a snuggle, and then so I made this one, but I also bought fabric in a different pattern, a yard as well, but I haven't finished it. I don't have it anymore. I don't know, but it's zebra striped. So yeah, so it will be similar, but it will be zebra striped. I love it. I love this fabric. It's so pretty. It's like hearts, but then it's got little designs and butterflies. So I love it. And it was 50% off. Like we literally walked into Joann Fabrics. I had no plan on getting fleece for snuggles. It had totally like went out of my head. And so I had walked in there to get stuff to make Catherine's birthday present. And so I walked in there, and Joann Fabrics' fabric section is right to the left. Once you walk in, you're like, shoo, fabric. And so I went with Amanda and Sam. And so Amanda was like, oh, I want to make a tie blanket. Oh, look, 50% off. I was like, ooh, 50% off. Snuggles. So yeah, so I bought fabric for snuggles. And then jewelry making stuff. Yep, that was my Joann Fabrics trip. Yeah. And I bought thread for my sewing in case I get the urge to sew. Yep. Which I haven't lately. My sewing machine's sitting over there as well. So please use me. Like, sorry, I can't right now. I don't have any fabric. I have thread but no fabric. Woo! And I have no fabric. Ooh, maybe I'll sew the snuggle. That's the second snuggle instead of tying it. There's an idea. So yeah. All right, I think that's all. Thank you all for staying with me for this half an hour. If this is your first time viewing, thank you for joining us. If you are a returner, thank you once again for viewing and sticking with us. I hope that if you are a first time viewer, you will be one of those returners on Friday for Lindsay's podcast, and once again on Monday for Mom's podcast. We are on iTunes. We are on Ravelry, Three Stitches podcast. And comment below if you like what you see. Give us a rating on iTunes. If you like us, if you don't bother us. Don't bother. We like to boost our own egos. No, I'm kidding. So if you don't like what you see, tell us what we can do better. If you're on the blog, comment. Yeah, I like comments. Nobody commented on my last blog, my last podcast. I like comments. Mom and Lindsay, you don't count. You always comment. So, yep. You don't have to. That's okay. Just want I don't know. Oh, there goes my screensaver. I think that's my computer telling me that I should end this. So I will sign off. Like I said before, Lindsay is on Friday, and you will see Mom on Monday if you decide to stick around that long. We sure hope you do. So with that, I will say goodbye.